Hello, welcome to another episode of Camposol Through Time. This week we're looking at the coins found and used through the ages in this area. To find out more, in the studio with me today is our very own historian and time traveller, Antonio Hernandez Benitez. Antonio, welcome back.
Hello.
And you have more things to show us.
Yes, quite a few.
Quite a few. We've talked previously about paper money notes
Exactly.
and the representations of the values of those. But before the notes came out, it was coins. It's been coins for thousands of years.
Exactly.
Now, you've got a few from your collection here we're going to have a look at. When coins started, how did they actually represent the value?
Well, the coins actually started at the beginning of the Metal Ages of the humanity, and it's actually representing the value of a metal, really. Okay,
So the coin was that value, whether
Exactly.
it be a precious metal, copper,
Exactly.
silver, gold, and it was that weight of that which was the value
Exactly.
of the coin.
Yes, and it was something, there was not like an international standard, but everyone used to accept it, the coins. There was not a way of exchanging the coins because they will accept it, the metal. Okay, if you wanted to pay with silver and it's silver coins from your country, they will accept it in another country.
Of course, because it's an international standard.
Exactly.
Who was it that actually brought the coins together? Because there's got to be somebody that makes the coins. Was it a bank, or was it the government, or at the time?
Well, for sure it was some kind of trading need. It was like some kind of trading need. Traders, they need something to exchange and to be able to buy and sell different products. Okay, and of course there was some kind of government in those days, like majority of them, they were kings or emperors, who actually they decided to put something that representing the power, the people they can actually see physically, who is the king or who is the emperor.
So this is why we always see the picture of the king or the
Exactly.
queen or whichever leader. Because
Exactly.
I do know you've got something we'll look at later
Yes.
with not a king,
No,
not a queen,
no.
but we've got a coin with Franco.
Yeah, well, for sure. There was
sure.
40 years of dictatorship, obviously. He was not on notes. Actually, none of the dictatorships in Europe, actually, they represented the faces on a note.
Is that right?
Yeah, and actually, even for instance, in Germany, Adolf Hitler, he was not even in coins, only in stamps, okay? But not in coins. But Franco was somehow the exception, and he did coins, obviously. In the pesetas, it was actually his face.
So pesetas are what we'll remember from pre-70s, before the euro, was it? 80s?
Well, the pesetas is actually one of the longest coins that we had in Spain. Actually started in the beginning, at the end of the 19th century, and it was until the year 2000, when we actually joined this euro
Of course, yeah, 2000.
currency,
Yeah.
and we started to change, euros for pesetas for euros. But actually, there are many of us, we actually keep pesetas at home. We're still keeping them.
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why not?
Actually,
Why not?
thousands of, there was an estimation a few years ago that actually thousands of millions of euros is actually in pesetas at home. We still have as a memory thing, we still have coins, notes, something to remember.
The Bank of Spain has kind of written it off, thinking we're not getting that back. Yeah. So on the table, we've got lots of examples.
Exactly.
Can we start with the earliest example of a coin that you've got?
Yes. Well, the oldest one that they have is actually before the Romans in Spain. Okay, it's probably 100, 200 years before the Romans actually they landed in this area, and it's actually from the Carthaginians. Okay, I have here the copy and the original one.
So this one here, I'm going to put my glasses on for this. I'm going to need those. This one here is an original Carthaginian coin.
Exactly.
Okay.
Made of silver.
That's silver, is it? Mm-hmm. Just patinaed. Let's turn it over. Is there any notable detail on that? Can you say?
There are some
There
details.
is, yeah.
Okay, that's why I brought the copy, because with the copy you can see actually better the details of
So
the coin.
that's the original. Mm-hmm. We'll pop that there. There we go. Now this is actually a copy of the original. Would this have been the original size?
Yes.
So who have we got? Has it got a picture there, a face on there? Who's that be? That's
Well,
one of the
probably
leaders at the time.
one of the leaders of these times, probably.
And on the other side, let's have a look what's on the other side.
Actually, you have the boats
a
similar
boat?
to yes,
Oh, okay. So that's what that would, over time, that's obviously reduced to that size.
Exactly.
But that would have been the original size.
Think about during many centuries and thousands of years, well, because of the value of the coins, because they were made of pure metal, majority of them, they used to reuse it. Okay, majority of the kings, if they were not able to afford to create their own coins, they used to stamp the old coins. So during centuries here in Spain, for instance, not only in Spain, all around Europe used to do the same thing, but especially in Spain, they were using Roman coins without knowing that it's actually a Roman coin. The king was putting
Because it's
the stamp
been
on it.
re-stamped over
Exactly.
the top of the old picture.
Exactly.
And you've got one there that's got
exactly.
actually-
This is one example.
This kind of proves this point, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
for
This
sure.
one.
This actually I found it in Sierra Espuña. Walking in Sierra Espuña, I found this coin, and actually it has a date, 1694, and actually in the other side you have two different stamps from two different kings. Okay, so it means like at least three different kings they have been using this coin, but obviously the coin was there already. Probably it's coming from the Roman times, and there were different kings just re-stamp it and stamp it.
That's fascinating.
Because obviously it was cheaper than melting the coin and doing another coin.
And of course, in those days, when this might be a few hundred years old, would you say?
Well, yes, for sure. I mean, if it's originally Roman coin, can be thousands, 1,000 or 2,000 years old, easily.
But over time, it's just been stamped and
Exactly.
stamped and stamped. What material is that? Is that copper?
Copper.
It is copper, yeah. So, with all, if I had one of these, yeah, and I wanted to buy a chicken, and you get 6 chickens for one of these, but I only wanted 1 chicken, what would I do?
Well, in those days, what they used to do, and during centuries, what they used to do, because if they didn't have change, they used to actually cut the coin into pieces, break it into pieces. And for instance, like as you say, like you wanted to buy something which the value is a quarter part of the coin, they will cut it in 4 pieces.
Have you got some examples?
Yes,
of that?
I have actually from medieval times. They are made of silver.
Okay,
From
so
the Muslim Spain, the majority of them is actually coming from the kingdom of Murcia. Some of them, some others.
This one here,
It's 3/4 parts of dirham, made of silver.
so it's a square coin
Yes,
originally.
yes.
So they're not all round.
No,
Okay, and this is silver,
yes,
and somebody has negotiated to take a corner
Exactly.
off that to buy something at some time.
exactly. Well, the reason why it's a square is because Muslims, on the Muslim world, mathematically, they think God is perfect, and they represented God as a square. That's why majority of the temples that they have, the mosque and so on, is normally a square.
And it's all it's very much based on geometry, all the design,
Exactly.
isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, that's why the coins as well, they were made, majority of them, or many of them, they were made with a square, okay? They were actually, obviously they were round as well, okay? But actually the square means the representation of God, okay? Where the Christians, we do it in a circle somehow, because not only because the Romans, they used to do it and so on, it's because as well we think mathematically somehow God is perfect and we represent it as a circle.
Circle. The sun probably originally.
Probably originally during the Roman times, probably
Possibly.
the sun, the moon, probably.
Yeah, possibly. So all these little coins they've got here. This one's another one with a little piece.
And this is a quarter part of a coin.
It's a quarter of a circular coin. This one.
No, it's a square.
Is it a square one again?
It's a square one.
Ah, okay. So they've cut it diagonally. Okay. Where's this one from?
As well from Spain. Okay, it's a period of Spain actually where we have different occupations of different groups of north of Africa, from the Almohades and Almohavides, which are radical Muslims. Actually, that's why they represented the
So a lot of
coins
these,
in
the
squares.
silver bits you've got here, the core. This is another
This is a half.
and a half of a square one.
Think about as well if you have to pay taxes, for instance, to go over a bridge or something like that, which belongs to a king or something, or you are just trading with foreigners in the port or whatever. You will the faster way or the quickest way is actually cutting the coin in pieces.
Very fascinating. I love this. So what we've got here? What's this one?
Well, this is a copy of a Roman coin.
Okay.
Okay, I brought it because the size is quite big, so you can see actually better the details of the coin. It's actually from Merida. Merida was a very important city during the Roman times in Spain. And I have like different Roman coins that actually from different emperors. Okay, and you were able to think about in those days, if you were a millionaire, okay, means that you have millions of coins at home. Okay, it's not like nowadays where everything is digital and you just have figures on your iPhone. You just see figures.
You
okay?
have
Just
actual
numbers.
stacks of these at home.
Exactly.
Is this? You said it's a copy. Would it be in this size?
No, not really.
So it's a copy of the design more than.
Exactly.
You're right. Okay. Yeah. Augusta. It says on there.
Yes, Merida Augusta.
Merida Augusta.
It was the name of the city in those days. Merida is nowadays. It's actually the location where is the best Roman theater in Spain, actually, and one of the best in Europe.
Okay.
It's actually where it's located. It's unbelievable, the place.
So what else have we got on the table then?
Well, I brought as well early pesetas. Okay, think about this. As I say, it's from those ones. They are made of silver, and this one is made of bronze.
Okay, so the transition, because there has been a transition between coins going from their integral value of the coin and the weight of the silver or the gold or the bronze, and that would give you the amount you could use in a transaction.
Exactly.
When did it start going into using cheaper materials but representing higher values, like today that we're using copper alloys for coins?
Well, actually, in the 20th century.
Right.
Before that, they used to mix like copper and bronze. It was like the cheapest or one of the cheapest ways of production coins. Okay, because obviously it's cheaper to mix both metals. But it's actually in the 20th century when we have somehow like cheapest ways of building coins, where the value of the real coin is not actually the value of something.
Would this have been the same sort of periods when banks would have come in to represent that amount of money?
Exactly.
So a bit like on a note,
Like central banks
you
and
promise
so
to
on,
pay the bearer. So
Exactly.
if you've got something with that pattern on it, then the bank will promise to give you £5 worth
Of gold
or
or
whatever. Right. So the transition between value and materials was because the banks came in to govern the money rather than the government themselves.
Exactly.
Oh, so that's interesting.
Think about, for instance, there is a time during the Spanish Civil War, for instance, the Republicans they don't have really the materials to make coins, and they started to make some coins with just single iron. Okay, which obviously now for having nowadays is very difficult because deteriorates very quick. Okay, and this is an example. Okay,
And also with the silver and the gold coins of old, and to a certain extent bronze, the actual material itself wears away a lot quicker.
Sure.
If you make an alloy, like have coins today with alloys of different metals, then they're longer lasting. They wear less, and the patterns on them will stay.
For instance, like when you have like one of those coins which are over 150 years old, for one example, or for instance the ones of silver from the medieval times, which is 1,000 years old, you can have it for thousands of years, hundreds of years. Where you have euro coins nowadays, after 20 years, they look like Roman coins because the way that they actually disintegrate, you know?
Yeah, the materials are different.
Exactly.
So this strikes me, this one, because this one is actually, I've seen the date on this, and the date on this one is 1966, which is a very important year, let me tell you, because that's when I was born.
Okay.
And at that time, Franco stamped his face onto this, and this is solid silver, yeah?
Yes, this is solid silver.
It's actually quite a heavy coin, a big coin.
For sure.
This isn't a replica, is it? This is the actual
No,
coin.
the actual, the real coin, for sure.
Okay, so being silver, the integral value of this, were there other coins alongside this that didn't have the integral value of the metal? Had they gone to banks by then and they were using other coins?
Well, in those days, think about, it's already in the 20th century, it was very strange somehow to make a silver coin or bronze coin, okay? It's something like actually hidden during the Franco times, they didn't do many coins made of silver, only just a few, and it was something to really to collect it or to keep it at home. Plenty of people, they have it because of the value of the silver. You know, or the historical value, or the memories, or something. Okay, but it was something as well with the pesetas. At the end of the pesetas period, there was as well one coin, silver coin of 2,000 pesetas, which you were able as well to pay in a shop and so on. But it didn't last long, okay, because actually the euros, they came out.
So what's the value of this one then?
This was 100 pesetas.
This is 100 pesetas.
Nowadays it will be 60 cents.
60?
60 cents.
60 cents?
Yes.
Really? So what would this have been worth back in 66?
Well, in the 66, you were able to do quite a few things with that.
So in today's money,
probably the equivalent of 20 euros, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a decent amount. So you'd
Oh,
collect
yes.
these, and this would be, once again, something to accumulate your wealth by.
Exactly.
What else have we got there then?
And this is one of the last ones, one of the last pesetas that we have. It's one very important for my generation.
Yep.
It's 100 pesetas.
So these are both 100 pesetas.
Yes, both of them.
This one's solid silver.
From Franco, and the other one is just different metals together, and it's from the King Juan Carlos.
There is King Juan Carlos.
One of the, as I say, one of the last few pesetas that we have in Spain. And it was very important because it was something that we used to use for our everyday life. We were able to pay with that, like 4 different games in the arcade areas, when we used to play different games and so on. Or you were able to buy, for sure, with 100 pesetas, I was able to buy, for instance, a sandwich and a Coke.
Okay.
In those days. And, well, it was quite normal, no, to use the 100 pesetas. There were even books, actually, they were selling for 100 pesetas book. Actually, I have a few at home. And
That's fascinating.
yes.
And I do like the idea, and I did have a metal detector many years ago when I was a lot younger, but just having a look around and just turning over a stone and finding something that's a little bit of history, and it could be from 2,000 years ago, it could be
for
from
sure.
60 years ago.
There is plenty of history around Camposol, and especially, as we mentioned in some programs before, because we are actually next to the Roman road. So during centuries, actually, they've been traveling people around. So for sure, there will be some kind of remains of that.
But there would have been trading along the way as well,
Yeah,
for
for sure.
refreshments and whatever else, and trading along the way. So the odd little coin falls on the floor, and even today, if it's a little copper coin,
Exactly.
you might just leave it there.
Probably,
Rather than put it
yeah.
in your shopping bags and
Or
pick
you
it up
don't
again.
you don't realize you actually lose
Or
a
it
coin.
falls on your hole in your pocket.
As I said, in those days they used to have bags full of coins, or they used to have like chests full of coins, which nowadays we look in the pirates films and so on, that they have a chest full of coins. Actually, it was normal in those days, especially think about if someone goes to Puerto de Mazarrón to buy salt. And
They've got to take a lot of physical money with them
Exactly.
to come back with a cart full of salt.
Exactly.
Yeah, fascinating. Brilliant. Great to talk to you. I know you've got so many more of these as well, but I really appreciate you bringing some of these in. A genuine piece of history. Thanks, Antonio.
Thank you.
That was interesting, wasn't it? That's it for today. Thanks for watching Camposol TV. We'll be back here at the same time next week with another episode of Camposol Through Time. Bye-bye. Cheers. Thank you.